All right, y'all, we are back. Hopefully, I can get this to work now. Sorry about that, but let me try to add her now. There we go. On here. Let's see.
I'm here.
Oh, yay! We got it to work.
Probably my fault, not the tech girly, but
No, it's fine.
today is the hard day. I already redo Zoom. It's fine.
That's right.
It's fine. I'm so
We are learning as we go, huh?
we are. We're doing hard things. We are here for it. I'm so
Yes. So today we just wanted to kind of share a little about our journey with Olive Tree People. So I'll start with mine. I actually joined just a couple of weeks ago, and Lisa is my mentor. Um, and I actually joined just strictly for the 25% discount. And after I got my products, they were absolutely amazing. And I started looking into the opportunity to actually start working the business. And I did not realize that the company is actually a newer company here in the US. So there is a huge potential to grow your business. And just some of the, what do I want to say? Some of the, like the vision that Thomas has of like making a global impact. So it's not necessarily just about having clean products to put on your skin, but also the impact that we're making with the water that we don't use in our products to build the water wells in Africa to give communities clean water. So all of this just aligned with my vision, and I really truly feel like this is where God has been trying to get me to. I've been looking for what that purpose is, and I've never been more confident about a business decision as I have in this one.
I know. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud. I have a lot of similarities in my story as well, and I'll share just a little bit about my story because I do believe it is different than a lot of people that probably started using the products and definitely the business. But basically, the last 2 years, I have been fighting a cancer diagnosis, which brought me to doing a lot of holistic, integrative type things, really, really hardcore cleaning up my diet, lots of things like that. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to spend lots and lots of money and lots of time and effort cleaning up big things and doing lots of really good things to try to heal my body, I also need to focus on the little things as well. Or you say little things, but they're really not that little, they add up. But part of making those types of changes was cleaning up my skincare, which I did not want to do. Let me be honest. I liked my products that I was using. I paid good money for those products, so I thought these are like the best. But little did I know, they not only were they not the best as far as the toxicity of them and what I was putting on my body, but the more I've learned about our products, they honestly weren't even really changing my skin. But anyway, that's kind of for a different conversation. But that's how I even found Olive Tree People or Oliveda. That's the same company, and I kind of say both terms. So if you hear that, same people. Um, so my mentor, her name is Julianne. She's amazing. We were in a business group together, and just hearing what she did, talking about the products, I was like, sent her a message privately, and I was like, I'm looking for a new skincare that's non-toxic and organic, all the good things. And I was so skeptical, and I almost didn't even want to ask somebody that like I knew kind of personally, because if I didn't like it, then I would feel bad. But anyway, I did, and I was like, I need to give it a try. Was expecting nothing, because honestly, we'll go there in a minute. Anyway, so told her, I was like, and I'm gonna be honest, I was like, I just want the products. Like, I have zero intention of ever selling them. The business opportunity to me was like not even nothing. Like, I honestly ignored that was even a possibility. So that was last March where I started trying the products. I did not even mention me using these products at all anywhere to like family members, anybody online until November of 2024. So I used them all the way from March to November before I ever even uttered a word. And I really don't even know why I did, but it was more of like the Lord convicted me to do so. And also just from me naturally using them on stories, people started asking questions. A handful of people, not many, ordered, and they were like, oh my goodness, these products are so good. And I was like, I know, right? And so when the Black Friday sale came around, because it was such a great sale, I was like, okay, maybe I should, like, I wasn't gatekeeping intentionally, but I was gatekeeping. And I was like, let me just share it. Let me just tell people, you know, like, I have been using these for a long time. They've done really great things for my skin, and they're good for you, and there's a really great sale. And that's honestly when it kind of like started for me, even just talking about the products, not the business side at all. Like I didn't even go there with it yet. But since then, like I've just felt really convicted by the Lord to share it as a business opportunity. And I don't really know why. All I know is that when he convicts me in this way, and he's kind of like, why haven't you done that, Lisa? Like, why haven't you been sharing it? This could be a blessing to others. And I'm like, I don't have a good answer for that, Lord. Okay, let me get that. But when I'm convicted like that and I don't have an answer, that's kind of like my sign to be like, okay, let's step outside my comfort zone and be obedient, basically. So that's what we're doing, and that's kind of how, like, well, actually, Sarah, you know, you approached me about it, but that's kind of how we all got in this together, and we are in this together. Like, I'm your mentor, but we're walking this journey together. Like, I am right there beside you, figuring out the tech and all the things.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started.
And I think we've had this conversation before, but when I first heard waterless skincare, my first thought was, okay, you don't need to use like water to cleanse your face. And that's not at all what it means. It literally means that water is not the first ingredient in our product. And they replace that water with the hydroxytyrosol. So, I mean, you could Google that word, and I mean, it's just amazing what comes up and what it can do for the inside and your skin. So yeah,
Totally.
I learned a lot.
Something I'm still learning a lot about is the hydroxytyrosol, which what that is like a big long fancy name, but all it is they extract it from the olive tree leaf. So it's not like bad for the tree. It's actually good for the trees. It helps them like regenerate and everything. But that is, and that's what I wanted to share too, was like just a few things that help Olive Tree people or Oliveda, like why that company even stood out to me anyway. Like after I learned about, okay, it's good clean skincare, but also what else, you know? Well, the very first thing that stood out was they were clean, non-toxic, organic, and effective. Like the products actually worked.
Right.
And I'm not knocking any specific brands. I've used many of them that were cleaner, better, all the things, but they just didn't do anything for me. So I kept going back to my old brand that I thought was doing something for me. But Oliveda was way different because it actually literally changed the way, not only the way my skin looked, but I honestly was more in, like the way my skin felt is what got me. It was like the texture completely changed. Like my makeup looked so much better. I mean, my skin got like brighter and tighter, but it just felt so good. Like when I wake up in the mornings, it feels like I just washed it and moisturized it. Like it's still soft and moisturized, which that has something I had never experienced before. So that really stood out to me for these products in this company, but also to speak to the waterless, both things that you've already mentioned, Sarah, is nobody else is doing this. Like nobody else is doing waterless beauty. And like you mentioned, what that means is we are not using water as the main ingredient. So if you look at some of your products, probably all of your products to be honest, go into your bathroom and you look at the ingredients, if they're even listed, because by the way, they try to get, you know, they don't a lot of times make that very apparent because there's things in there that they don't really want to brag about, but we'll go there on another day. Water is going to be your first ingredient. And when water, or whatever your first ingredient is, that generally means that that product has at least 70%. So you could potentially be spending hundreds of dollars on a product. I've done it. So I've been there. That is 70% water. And water's great. We need it, which brings me to the water wells. Like, that is just so cool that we do that. But a bunch of water on your skin is not changing anything. Like it's not producing any effects as like, you know, as far as cell turnover and all of that. So that definitely stands out. And then also, like you're saying, the giving back, you know, from, we don't put that water, and our products. So he does a really, I say he, Thomas, that's the founder. And I talk about him like I know him personally because I really feel like I do. Like when you listen to him, he's just so down to earth and like he just wants to share these products. That's like literally all he is worried about, really. So that is cool. Like having, like you said, the base of our products is the hydroxytyrosol, and then there's other great things that are added to it. But that alone changes your skin, like just that hydroxytyrosol. And then the third thing, there's so many things I can mention, but the other thing that really stood out to me as a business, now this does pertain to the business side. Once I kind of got started thinking in that mindset, is the compensation plan. It is just so much more generous than any other company like this. And I'll be honest, I've never done another network marketing company before, but you know, we all know a little bit about them, I think, and I know generally their compensation plan is like 10%, maybe 15% on some things, but ours is the very, very baseline, 25%, which is more than anybody else that I know of in the industry. And the point for that is generosity is a major value to me. Like anytime I see someone that's generous with their money, their time, their resources, that just speaks volumes to me about like what their intentions are and what their vision is. And also, you know, like that's amazing for your family. And like if you're trying to build a business with extra income, you know that you're going to get a really good compensation. So like I said, when you see, I know money is not everything, but for me, it's the value of seeing that generosity being played out for the consultants. So those are just a handful, not even a handful, just a few reasons why once I realized that I love the product itself, just the company itself really stood out to me and kind of drew me in and made me like want to take the next step and talk about it more and just share the opportunity with other, not gatekeep. I don't want to gatekeep this since I did the product for so long.
Yeah.
So,
And kind of the same thing. Well, speaking of the compensation plan, I think just a lot of companies now like that are, you know, that they have, what I want to say, partners
yeah,
for their company. A lot of them are taking that aspect away, and actually Oliveda is actually leaning into the
yes,
direct to consumer, and they're actually bringing in more partners because they put so much trust in us to share these products and to make the global impact.
yes,
So I do think that's another thing that stood out. And like you said, the water wells, I mean, another global impact that we're making. So, and I will tell you, speaking of the water, when I first learned that that's what waterless meant, my first thing that I did was went to my bathroom, and every skincare product that I was using listed water first. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is no wonder it's not working like it's supposed to be,
exactly.
because 70% of it is water. And then when I found out that what is it, 25% of the rest of the product is made of like petroleum oils.
The oil,
Yes,
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 that's
inflammatory oils, the things that actually I'm trying to rid my body of because they're inflammatory, I'm putting it on my
yes,
skin. So that was another huge red flag. And I was like, okay, like I think this is where I need to be. So yeah,
yeah. The whole
I'm very happy.
crazy too. And that's what's so
Yes.
like you'll get a really expensive moisturizer and you're like, oh, this feels nice on my skin. But it's like once you wipe it off or something, it doesn't, you just don't feel any change in your skin. And that's because it's full of those, I always say it backwards. So I'm not going to say that the unrefined versus refined oils. I say it backwards, but we're just going to say the bad oils.
Yeah.
Not only are they super inflammatory, but the molecules are actually too large to actually even absorb into your skin. So basically all it's doing is sitting on the top of your skin and it doesn't absorb, which is why you don't get any changes. And ours is the opposite. Like we use I hate to even say oils as a word, but it is the right word, but it's just really good oils
It's
that your body,
oils. Yes. And it's oils that nourish your skin and actually prevent your pores from clogging, which
yes,
is the opposite of what petroleum and refined oils do. So
because you hear
yeah.
the word oils and it is scary because
Yeah.
you're like, well, I don't want to make my face break out. But there's a massive difference between
Yeah.
refined and unrefined oils. And there was one thing I wanted to say. Gosh, what was it that we were talking about with the compensation plan? I forgot. What was it that you mentioned about the compensation plan? Going direct to
Consumer.
direct to. So just in case you don't know, so Oliveda is very new in the United States, like 2 years, maybe not even quite 2 years yet, but we're around that 2 year mark in the United States, which is so new, like such a baby for any company. However, it has been around for 20 years in Europe, and everything is by European standards. And if you know anything about like the FDA, I shouldn't say that, like our standards in the US versus standards in Europe, like their standards are way up here. So anything that comes from Europe is like, it's just already a step above. And these products have been available in Europe for 20 years. And Thomas, the founder, actually, as of last week or the week before, he announced he's closing all of the storefronts in Germany, like over in Europe, which is because he believes so much in this model and so much in the consultants, like bringing it direct to consumer, that he's closing all of his storefront. Like there's literal like Oliveda stores, like people go like very successful, closing all of those and just going direct to consumers. So that just goes to tell you, like you were saying, another thing about the generosity and just the belief in the company and the model and everything like that. I thought that was really important. When you said that, it jogged my memory, so I wanted to share that too, because I think it's really cool that these products have been used for a really long time, but here where we are, or where most of us are, very new, which is, if you're looking at it from a business opportunity standpoint, that's really good, because that gives that there's just so much opportunity there.
Right.
I thought that's a good point to share.
And speaking of Thomas being so generous,
Yeah.
he is being extremely generous for anyone that is joining to spread the word on Waterless Beauty. Do you want to go over that?
Yeah,
If
really
they
quick.
sign up.
I will. So this is through the end of this month, which will be the end of the week. And basically what it is there is an opportunity for you. If you sign up as a consultant by Friday, then you are eligible for up to $85,000, like 3 zeros, $85,000 in bonuses as a consultant. So like life changing, right? Like crazy. And I always like to share, like I've been sharing, I'm like, I'm not even eligible for that. And like, I didn't sign up during that time. So I'm not on here trying to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have ulterior motives. I always do that thumbs up thing. But that's part of me being convicted to like share this, because that truly is like, I mean, that is insane. That is life changing. So it doesn't mean that you have to like sign up this week and do something. But it does. I mean, you obviously have to do something to earn those. But this week, all you have to do is get signed up as a consultant. Like just get your foot in the door and start this opportunity. So the deadline to be eligible again for $85,000 in bonuses is the last day of the month, which is Friday. And on top of that, there is another offer for consultants that join by the end of the month, and you get a $100 credit. So once you get your enrollment thing and you choose your consultant kit, which is a kit that has products, and you get to pick and choose, like they're different prices, they have different types of products. So I like that a lot, because you don't just get one, you know what I mean? Like there's not just one kit to choose from. Like you can choose one kit. And once you do that, you're going to be credited, or you're going to get a $100 credit to use on your next purchase. Whether that is, you can turn around tomorrow and maybe you want to get 2 different kits, because the consultant kits are already at a discounted price, which is really awesome. But you get that extra like free $100 to turn around and get $100 more in product. And again, that runs through the end of the month, so the same deadline. So basically what you need to do is just message Sarah and get signed up ASAP. That is going to get you for both, or like all of those bonuses and credits and everything like that.
I wish I would have had that $100 product credit when I signed up, because I literally went in a week after I joined and placed another order, because I had gotten my first one and I was like, oh my gosh, these products are amazing. So I went in and purchased more.
Same.
So the product
actually pretty sure all that has happened with all of my team, as well as myself
Yeah.
and my customers. Like they get, they'll start with just a couple things, which is great. Like that's what if you're not ready to like buy the whole routine, amazing. We'll get you set up, with just a couple things within your budget. But then seriously, they get their products and like a few days later, they're like, I'm going to go ahead and order this one too. This one feels really good. I love
Yep.
these so far. And so that is something I hear almost every day, which just tells you, it just speaks to the products themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, if anyone has any questions, I would love to speak with you. Like Lisa said, this offer is only through the end of February, which is over on Friday. So I'd be happy to jump on a call, jump on a Zoom with you and kind of go over any questions that you have. So just reach out to me. You can just send me a message and we can get that set up.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you so much for hopping on and chatting with us today.
Yes, I love it so much.
All right, everyone have a good day.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.